That's why you can't hear me. You should be able to hear me now. Let me know if you hear me okay. You should be able to hear me now. Let me know if you should hear me. I'll give it a second. I know there's a little bit of delay. There you go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, just a random stream. Like, I have no schedule or time frame on any of this stuff. I was like, I'm just gonna stream. Why not? Why not? Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff going on last, I don't know, let's say 2 weeks or so in the world of game. Oh, there's an echo? That's probably me. Hold on. I know what that is. Oh, there's an echo? I know exactly what that is. That was me. There shouldn't be an echo now. This shows you how much I stream, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So apologies for that. And Parris is not an Xbox. You know what? I could be an Xbox. You never know. You don't know what the hell they're gonna do next. I could be an Xbox. Anything could be an Xbox. All right, this should be good. I shared it out, and I am live. All right, I'm gonna give it a look. I'm trying to figure out one other thing with OBS. I don't know why I'm not seeing a certain thing. Hold on. There we go. Now I see the OBS chat. I wasn't seeing it before. I wanted to be able to see that in OBS. Okay, we should be good now. Should be good. Okay. So anyways, I wanted to stream because I wanted to kind of just put my thoughts out there in the ether about what's been going on. Wait a minute, I made an excellent point. But anyways, let me set this up, and I'm actually gonna start reading the chat. And I do appreciate all of y'all being here. And yes, I have the ROG Xbox Ally X right here. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on and talk about the handheld more, kind of just make it more of an open session. So if people had questions about it, comments, things they wanted to bring up to me, they're more than free to bring it up here in the chat, and we'll just have a whole conversation about it. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff going on with Xbox, with rumors and all kind of crazy stuff. Game Pass price hikes. They ain't making hardware anymore. What was the other one? Oh, they're removing all the hardware from Target and Walmart and all that. And I just figured, you know, why don't I actually come on and talk about it? I did the Ally X, the Xbox Ally X review that's here on the channel. You can check that out. I had like an hour-long conversation with Danny about that. I was also on Kind of Funny yesterday. We had an hour-plus conversation about the handheld as well, but I kind of will just follow up on it and just jump into it more. So appreciate y'all being here. Feel free to ask whatever you want, and we'll just jump into it. And I think the first thing I had was Parris made an excellent point. I think the handheld is what an Xbox is going to be. It's about the platform now, not the device, and the walled garden is no more. And yeah, I said that, and I know a couple other people have been kind of echoing that as well, because you got to understand, is this, I'm literally going to turn it on while I'm talking to you. Is this an Xbox today? No, it's not. It is a Windows 11 PC handheld, but this is where Xbox is headed with this device. Let me just hold it up here so you can see, and it should just log me right in. Yeah, see, this is logging me right in right now, and I guess you can see the last thing I played. See what it shows. I'm literally just watching the screen to see what it shows. What is it showing? It's only showing installed games. Okay, good. Yeah, because y'all don't need to see that. But anyways, the point I'm making on that is Xbox is in transition. And I think Destin had a really good tweet earlier today as well. But they're in transition. You know, I was up at Microsoft earlier this year. I got to talk to people on the Windows team. And it is pretty clear to me that, and Sarah Bond said it in that AMD video, they want Windows to be the place where you game. Obviously PC gaming, but they're clearly moving towards this hybrid hardware that has a lot of console functionality, but under the hood, it's essentially a Windows PC. And that is what, hold on, let's do this. Let's do this. it wants me to update the app. That's why you don't see anything. Anyways, you can see the last thing I played on here. But my point is, they're transforming this to be more platform than just what it previously was, where it was just a traditional console. They lost that war. It is what it is at this point. We can hum and haw and rant and rave about what is an Xbox, what isn't an Xbox, but they are transforming that these type of devices, anything that can have that Xbox app on it, is an Xbox now. And moving forward, see, this is why all the arguments that I've seen over the past few days are just ridiculous. No, and I've said this since they announced this thing. No, there's legacy games that are on the Xbox Series X and S that are not playable on here. It is PC games. But moving forward, what are all Xbox games going to be? They're going to be playable on the PC. They're going to be play anywhere moving forward. And they're going to slowly but surely transform away from what the previous model was, to where every Xbox game that comes out, first party and some third party, not all third party, will be play anywhere. Some will be in Game Pass, some won't from third party, but they're going to be playable on devices like this. They're going to be cloud streamable, and whatever this next hardware is, which essentially will be Windows, it's going to be playable on that too. They're allowing you to bring in other digital stores, which, if you watch the review that I put out and even talking about Kind of Funny, I like the fact that I can aggregate all my digital stores into that Xbox full screen experience. I can launch my Steam and Epic Store games from there. They're fully playable, no issues. Are there still bugs with this? Of course. I highlighted that in the review and I talked about it a lot. But look, and it's more than fair to criticize them for not having some of these things ready day one, but I kind of knew that going in, just talking to people over the summer, so it wasn't unexpected. But eventually they're going to get there. I would say by the time we get to 2026, you're going to see a lot of the things that I had an issue with this today. They're going to resolve them because they understand it's a work in progress and they got to iterate on it. And that's why I said this thing is an alpha. It's a sneak peek at the next generation of what Xbox is going to be. That next that next console, when you power it up, this interface is going to look awfully familiar. The fact that you're going to be able to integrate Steam and the Epic Store and GOG and Ubisoft and any other PC digital store into this. Those games that you own on those digital stores will be playable on whatever the handheld is, whatever the console is that sits under your television, obviously any type of PC that you build. That's where they're going. Whether you like it or not, that's where Xbox is headed at this point. So when I see people just constantly saying the same tired thing that they've been saying for months at this point, it's not an Xbox, it's not an Xbox. No shit. We know it's not an Xbox. And of course, people reviewing this are going to say that because you have to judge this device for what it is today. It is a Windows 11 PC handheld, but this is where Xbox is transforming their ecosystem and their platform to be. I think it's as simple as that. And let me see some of these other comments in here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me as I ramble and talk about this stuff. And what do we have? Parris, you're saying, I appreciated your thoughts on the ROG Ally X. How hard is it to review an expensive device that you got for free? It's very interesting. And that's why I bring up price on it. And that's why I said, if I had to go out and buy it today, I would not spend $1,000 on it. Because, I bring this up, I prefer my Steam Deck OLED. Because it does the job better right now from a usability standpoint. Can it perform as good as this? No, it cannot. But this is very ease of use. This Steam Deck OLED, I press the button on it. I'm into the interface. I can play my games. No hiccups, no problems. I'm never forced to leave that experience. With the Ally X being $1,000, it's very hard for me to recommend it to anyone at that price point. If it was a couple $100 cheaper, I probably would recommend it. But at $1,000, it's very expensive, especially in this economy, and it not being as good as the competition, and especially when the competition, being Valve, being Steam, is cheaper, and it plays virtually all the same games. Now, Windows has the advantage of anti-cheat, obviously Game Pass integration, all that, plus you can pull in other digital stores. Now, I can tinker with this thing, and I can make it do what the Ally X does if I want to tinker with Linux, but I'm always looking at it from the point of view of the average consumer that does not want to tinker. And that's how I have to see it. So again, going back to the point, if I was directly spending my money, if this is out today, would I buy the Xbox Ally X? Probably not at $1,000. If it was 800, I probably would have, just because I love gadgets and I like to tinker, but I already have so many other handhelds. It isn't a need for me. And that's how I have to view it. And then you point out the positives of it. You point out the things that they could improve on, and you move on from there. What's up, Parris? Got a dual wheel live stream. Oh, wait. I just realized Dirt is doing his stream right now. Like I said, I literally just decided to do a stream. So I apologize for that. And I understand people are going to be in Dirt stream. Obviously, I'm in Dirt stream a lot, but I just want to run my mouth and just talk a little bit. And Dirt obviously does this way better than I do. So totally understand people jumping over in that stream. What do we got here? I'm just here so I have context the next time Reforged crashes out. Man, let me tell you something. I saw a couple clips today of that dude. And I've never seen someone just they want to be the smartest person in the room, and they want that gotcha moment so bad, but their ego is so out of control. They can't help themselves. And I saw some clips of him today just trying to take his victory lap about this ROG Xbox Ally X. And it's like, no, dum-dum. Anybody with common sense knew this was not an Xbox that was playing all your games. Yes, was their messaging in June not as crystal clear as it should be? It was not. I know I gave that feedback, and then by the time we got the games come, they were very specific on what games were playable on this device, and you go from there. So now to come out today, it's just, honestly, it's just childish, and it's just more of a reflection on him as a person, because we obviously know how he tried to basically attack me on a personal way, earlier this year. And then when that backfired, because you can never bully me, because I will absolutely say something if you say something crazy about me. And he backtracked, and then he went back into, his neck of the woods or whatever with his subtweeting and his passive aggressive nature. And then now that Xbox, all these rumors came out, he jumped back out peacocking again. And it's just foolish. Nobody takes that guy seriously. I mean, he's a guy who was a Destiny streamer that, while what happened to him, I don't think was necessarily fair, it's the ego and the smug attitude that had so many people just not like him in that community. And then when he got kicked out, a lot of people were like, see you later. And look, he's doing what he's got to do. I get it. But his act is kind of old at this point, because he just keeps saying the same things over and over like a broken record. He so badly wants to be the smartest person in the room without any humility that it's ridiculous. I mean, anyways, I'm talking about that guy too much, but I'm definitely not afraid to tell you what I think about him, because, he's the bad part of what I do, because he's what gives us a bad name, because he tries to use other people to get engagement to make himself look better instead of just standing on his content on its own. He needs to constantly bring in other people and sort other things versus focusing in on himself. And I'm sure this will go back to him, and I'm sure he'll subtweet me, and he'll passive aggressively say something because he won't say my name. And if he does say my name, I'll be more than happy to respond. So there you go. Anyways, let's move on. So what do we got here? Hi, Parris. Since the ROG Ally X doesn't have HDR, it's not an OLED. How the blacks look on it, they all look washed out. They're not bad. Obviously, they're not OLED good. And that's the whole point. It's not OLED. But if it was an OLED screen, this thing would be even more expensive, right? They're not bad for what it is. I mean, they're very comparable to the previous Ally because it's the exact same screen. I have the other Ally, the original one, like behind me, very similar. So if you've seen that screen, then you've seen the screen as well, but it looks good. And I don't have any real complaints. I have a super chat, and I do appreciate that. Let me read that so I do not forget. Con Artistic, $5. I hope I'm saying that right. $5 super chat, more generous. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But also, is there sleep mode or quick resume mode to get you back into games quick? There is a sleep mode. It's essentially the Windows 11 sleep mode that's on this. But no, it does not have quick resume that you would find on the Series X. Appreciate that again. Anyone send super chats or any kind of stuff, more generous, not a requirement. Like I said, I just want to have a conversation with everybody here in the chat. So let me scroll down here because I know I kind of was rambling a little bit. I saw something about a carry case. I did not get one with my reviewing unit. I'm going to get one at some point, and I did see Xbox post something about some Xbox branded cases that they will have for this. I hope you don't. There's a hairdryer behind me. I hope you don't hear that. But Asus obviously has some as well. So definitely just go check out Asus, check out on Xbox. I would imagine Amazon, Best Buy, places like that would have it too. And KP Projections is saying it's the Xbox brand on a PC handheld. I guess I sort of get that, but to call it straight up Xbox is kind of dumb. And this is where I mean, it just gets into the argument about it. You're not wrong. Trust me, you're not wrong. And I've been very clear on my thoughts about it. It is a Windows 11 PC handheld that has been they've curated the Xbox experience on it, so it does a lot of Xbox things, right? But at the end of the day, it is a Windows 11 PC handheld. Honestly, you can set this up so that it doesn't boot directly into the Xbox app. You could have booted Steam. You have not boot anything at all. You have to go to the desktop. Whatever it is that you want to customize it to do, but out of the box, it's been curated to be more of an Xbox PC experience, if that makes sense. And what is this? The Sony crowd are really trying to inoculate themselves by obfuscating. I know who says that word on this. Like, this is an Xbox term, although they can't handheld the next Xbox will play their games. Let me know if you're hearing that in the background. It seems because I'm hearing it pretty loud. Where are you saying they can't handle the next Xbox will play their games? Honestly, you're just dealing with random people on the internet. It is a small minority of allowed people that even care about that. The average gamer does not care about this stuff, right? Is it an Xbox, not an Xbox? Can it play PlayStation games? Honestly, they were like, cool. I'm glad I can play Spider-Man 2 on this thing. Why not? But at the end of the day, PlayStation puts their games on Steam and on the Epic Store, and with this being a Windows 11 PC handheld, it can play PlayStation PC games. And I don't see any sign or reason why PlayStation is going to stop putting their games on PC, which means if the next Xbox is a hybrid PC, it will be able to play PlayStation games from a PC digital store. What else do we have here? The case is, so there is a case inside the case. This is an Xbox case. And that's what I mean. It's like, honestly, who cares? If they want to say it, if they want to brand it that way, cool. If they don't, they don't. It's fine either way. Why people are so concerned about how it's branded. Because I think someone made a great point. If Asus just would have released this exactly the same way it was, and they just called it the ROG Ally X 2, people would be celebrating this thing versus worrying about the fact that Xbox decided to partner with them to curate what the handheld is. That's all it is. So it's a tired argument at this point, and it's just the same people that are making this argument over and over versus actually, because I made the tweet today, why are we stressing so much over this versus actually focus on the hobby itself, which is to be playing games, playing with your friends, having fun, versus tweeting and making videos and whining and crying on the stream constantly about something that ultimately does not matter. It is up to you what you want to go buy and what you want to go play on the device and the games that you enjoy. Simple as that. And I think you're saying Tom Moore and Tim Moore, but you're showing you could seamlessly jump from one game to the next, quick resume style. No, what it is, and I don't have anything booted up right now. You can hold that Xbox. Say I was playing Cyberpunk, right? I can hold the Xbox button and basically minimize it in a way, and then I could go back to the Xbox app, or hell, even if you had Steam open, and I could launch another game. I don't think you really want to do that because it's going to hurt performance doing that, but it is possible. But your game doesn't go into a quick resume mode. It's just being minimized as if it would be on a Windows desktop. Think of it that way. And Gamer Live Studio with a $5 super chat, very generous of you, appreciate that. You're saying Xbox marketing is genius. Gamers are arguing about the Xbox handheld, bringing more attention to. Wait, how are you saying the more attention than CBS Morning with the Xbox, hinting that you're 100% right. More people are worried about talking about this than whether what it is. It's free marketing. It's just bringing more awareness to it. And if I understand correctly, look, I don't know how many they made, but it's sold out right now, right? I think you can't go just walk into a store and get one. So, hey, I'm sure Xbox and Asus is like, keep talking about it. Keep arguing about if it's an Xbox or not. So you're not wrong. And what are you saying? By the way, have you tested Keeper in the Outer Worlds here without spoiling your review embargo? I'm not spoiling nothing. If you look at the review and the video, you can see that I have Keeper and the Outer Worlds 2 installed on it. And that's all I'm going to say. We'll wait for the review period. Actually, Keeper I'll be able to talk about on Friday. And then the Outer Worlds 2 will be on October 23rd. That'll be that review as well. And what else do we have? Isn't the Xbox app just the Game Pass app? So are we calling it the Xbox app and not Game Pass? No, it's more than Game Pass. Obviously Game Pass is very integrated into it. But if you own a game on here, like if you own a Play Anywhere game or an Xbox PC only game, it will show up in that library and you can launch it and play it from there. So it is more than that. It's not just Game Pass, but obviously Game Pass is heavily featured in the Xbox app. And what else do we have here? Yeah, I think, Huggable Hipster, always good to see you. And you're saying as long as it performs well for people and does what it needs to do, then it's all anyone could ask for. And that's what I was saying yesterday, man. It's like at the end of the day, despite the nitpicks that I have about with Windows and being able to, to navigate through it, when you're playing a game, it's great. It's freaking great. This is one of, if not the most powerful PC handheld on the market right now. So from a performance standpoint, there's no complaints with this at all. And the fact that when you launch through the Xbox app, the desktop and other unneeded resources are disabled. So you're getting 2 gigabytes of memory back for performance. So like I said, I was playing Cyberpunk 2077 with the Steam Deck preset on this. And I mean, I'm getting like 80 frames at 1080p. Can't complain about that. With ray tracing enabled on this, low ray tracing, I mean, I was getting around 40. And with this, the screen being VRR capable, 40 frames per second is a pretty smooth experience. And that's with ray tracing on this thing. So I have no complaints about the performance of it. And to be honest, as more drivers and things roll out, the performance on it's going to get even better. Now, battery is another thing. Battery's not great, especially if you're running this at 25 watts and really trying to push this thing to its limits. Cyberpunk drains the battery. You'll have to recharge after like 2 hours. And can I show the range of the VRR on the display? That is actually a good question. I don't know. So I don't want to pretend that I do. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I know it does VRR. I believe it's just auto enabled through my Armor Crate. Sorry. So yeah, I know it's on there. It works. Like I said, I haven't really seen any crazy screen tearing or anything on here. For the most part, all my play experiences have been pretty good. Wait a minute. Ice Cold is saying, I heard you can have issues with Steam on the handheld because of your Steam settings on PC. Like if you have your PC set up to handheld on the Xbox controller, it can mess with the Ally X. I've not run into that, to be honest with you. I mean, I have my configuration with Steam on my desktop. I would imagine all that stuff, comes over to this and obviously whatever on my Steam Deck, but I've not had any issues. All right. Sorry about that. And can we come back to focus here? Yes, there we go. What do we have here? Clabby94 with a $9.99 super chat. That is extremely generous of you, and thank you. You are saying, you say Xbox is in a transition period. What do you think the other side of that will look like when it's completed? Also, if they continue this PC focus, what happens to my non-Play Anywhere library? That is a fantastic question. Now, This is speculation on my part. Nobody has told me this. I might have got a couple winks and nods that I'm going down the right path when I was able to talk to people directly at Microsoft about this. But I think we get on the other side of this. You are going to have a Windows-based platform for Xbox moving forward. When I say Windows, it's Windows 11, Windows 12, or whatever. I'm sure it'll be curated to a certain point with whatever the hybrid device would be. But I think very similar to what Steam does with the Steam Deck is it will quote unquote boot into game mode, boot into the console experience, but you will have the option to flip it into a Windows desktop if you so choose. But I think this is what they're trying to figure out now. You should never have to leave that game mode at any point to do anything. I want to install Steam. I need to install updates, whatever. It should all happen in there, right? All my games launch through there. Everything should happen there. I need Discord. I can do it all in the game thing. I only have to go to the desktop mode if I so choose to. Obviously, they're going to put Copilot and AI and all that stuff into it as well. I think every Xbox game moving forward will essentially just be a PC game, right? So they're essentially only developing for one platform on the Xbox side. Obviously, they got PS5, Switch, they'll do that. But when they make a PC game, it is a PC game that can come from the Xbox digital store, come from Steam, and come from Epic or whatever, and it will be playable on this device. That's where I think it's headed. Now, to your legacy library, now this is where it gets interesting. There's going to be some form of backwards compatibility. How they emulate it, how they do it is TBD. I don't know. But I do see that happening at some point to where now I can bring in my back catalog of digital games that I own onto this platform. We'll see how it works. I think they still got 2 years to figure this all out, because I would imagine whatever this next Xbox is won't launch until holiday 2027. So the clock is ticking. I think we will see through 2026 a lot of iterations, updates. I think they'd be very smart with Xbox or Windows Insider to get us to come in and collaborate on this stuff and kind of test these things out so that we can get it working and seamless. Because whatever the console is going to be, it can't have the quirks that this does day one. It's got to come out of the box and be a smooth, seamless experience for someone that just wants to press the power button and play their video games. And if they just so happen to have games on another digital store, it needs to be very easy for them to pull in that digital store and install the games and launch the games from that digital store without ever leaving the Xbox experience, whatever that's going to be. That's what I think they're trying to do. They've lost the console war, or whatever you want to call it, to PlayStation and Nintendo. So they got to do something different to basically make their games more accessible and their hardware more appealing. Because let's go back to January. I asked Phil Spencer straight up, you putting the games everywhere, you're doing this, you're doing that, then why would I buy an Xbox? And his response, paraphrasing, is they're going to do something innovative with it. That's why I would want to buy it. So let's see what that's going to be in holiday 2027. So I hope that answers the question. I hope I do. Oh man, people leaving super chats now. Let me try and get all these here. So Danny Passion with a $5. Appreciate that, sir. You're saying, let's not get over our heads. LOL. It's not the most powerful, but it is decent. GDP5 is the most powerful PC handheld in the market. No, and that's why I kind of corrected myself. I said, if not one of. You are correct, sir. So I call myself missing. I'm like, wait, it's not the most powerful, but it is definitely up there. Let's put it that way. But I appreciate that. Mark Morgan with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you for that. Very appreciative. You were saying, will next gen console UI be more like the Series XX UI or the Xbox PC app UI on the Ally? I think it is more like this. I do. And I think you're not going to have a uniform app across Windows, across handhelds, across the console and the cloud. I think even when you go into the Xbox experience on a cloud, it's going to look exactly the same. That's my guess, but we will see. And I appreciate that. Are you planning on testing the Lenovo Legion Go 2 as well and doing a comparison? I would like to. I ain't gonna lie. I think it costs a goddamn lot, so I got to figure it out. But I've thought about it. I would like to. CES is going to be coming up only a few months from now, and I'd be very interested to see what Lenovo, MSI, and the rest do. Because I went, see, it's so funny. All this PC stuff for me started last January because I went to CES last year, and I was talking to Lenovo, I was talking to MSI, I was talking to Asus, obviously Xbox. Like Jason Ronald was there, and I'm talking to all these people. And I was starting to say, I'm like, okay, I see where things are going. And then I went to Microsoft and I got to talk to the Windows team. And I'm like, okay, I kind of see what you're doing. Then Summer Game Fest happened and they debuted this. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. So to your point, long-winded, yes, I would definitely like to try some other handhelds so I could do a comparison. Honestly, I want to get my hands on the Xbox Ally, you know, the 720p white version as well, because I would like to see how games perform on that comparative to this one. And if so, I would probably do a video or something as well. And I appreciate that. So let me scroll down here. Let me get this other super chat, and then I'm going to come back to some of the comments in the chat. DC Gaming, $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. You're saying, I think the rumored Magnus APU will allow backwards compatibility with legacy Xbox content. Outside of that, they will probably rely on cloud for anyone without the APU unless they plan on developing full compatibility. I think you absolutely nailed it. I think whatever chip they're partnering with AMD, that chip probably has backwards compatibility as a part of it. If you don't, if you just build your own PC and you don't have that APU, say it's an Intel chip and you got an NVIDIA GPU, then you probably would have to cloud stream to get your legacy games. And this is me guessing. I have no insight on this, but I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense on that strategy, so that they are essentially saying, hey, if you buy our next console, right, which will be Windows based, but it has this APU in it, which allows backwards compatibility. Now you can bring your Xbox games with you. But if you're on something else that does not have that, will allow you to cloud stream your digital library. And that's essentially what they're doing with this one right now. Because I think, again, with the argument that people are trying to get into semantics about wording, like I said, at Gamescom, they made it clear the games that are not natively playable on this, you can stream. Like, I have The Witcher 3 that I own digitally through Xbox, right? I can pull it up here. Hell, I will literally do it right now. I can pull it up on here and I can cloud stream it. So let me find it here. While I'm sitting here yapping, let me find a game that I have. Hold on. Let's see what I can pull up here. I'm looking for one that's not playable on here, because everything I'm looking at here is playable. Let's do this. Let me search for it. Now I'm doing bad. Okay, here we go. Witcher 3 Complete Edition. Okay, so this is the Witcher 3 Complete Edition, if you're seeing that. And I am now cloud streaming it. This is not Xbox Play Anywhere. It is a game that I own. And now I'm going to cloud stream it, and it's going to bring it up, and you're going to be able to play it. And is it perfect? Of course not. But it's at least an option in these early days. So that's what I'm going to be. Oh, and Nerd Nest is here. Hey, appreciate it, man. And it sucks because him and I have been talking, not to out our private messages, but him and I have been talking because I've been really looking forward to coming back on his show. And it's just the timing of everything, unfortunately, because like tomorrow I'm going to be at TwitchCon. So I'm not going to have time, unfortunately, because I got a thing I'm doing in the evening in San Diego traffic, just trying to get down there. Timing's not going to work out, but boom, and there's The Witcher 3. And let's do this, and let's do this. And it should be coming up. And this is cloud streaming, and do that. I know this is freaking terrible. as I'm loading into it, but I hope what the whole point of this is, what we're talking about is you do still have access to some games that are not playable natively on this device because they're not Xbox Play Anywhere, right? And they're not in Game Pass, and you can cloud stream them. So yeah, like I said, so this is The Witcher 3, as you can see, boom, that's all cloud streaming. But no, but I do appreciate the question. And before I forget the super chat, okay, so Cryptic is saying a $499, and you're saying, do you think when the next gen comes out 27, 28, do you think, oh, I guess you're asking, when do I think it's coming out in 27 to 28 and the climate starts to shift, the prices start to be where we can expect, or is this the standard moving forward? Assume it's the standard moving forward. Because I think even if the economy improves and prices go down, I think this is capitalism. If they feel like consumers are used to paying at this price, they have no incentive to lower the price. Unfortunately, that's my thinking. Trust me, I want to be wrong, but that's just kind of what I think. Vine, I'm just going back through the chat here now. Vine said, why isn't the title Xbox is dead or it's not an Xbox? So one thing I do when I check out some of my friends' streams or whatever, I'm a troll. And I will go in their streams and I will all caps. I will say Xbox is dead. Xbox is doomed. You brokies need to unsub from Game Pass and go buy a PlayStation 5. I say this stuff all the time because it's almost just a meme at this point. Like what we saw the last couple of weeks with the rumors, whether they're ultimately true or not, it definitely does not seem like the rumor that they're going to stop making hardware is true. It just doesn't. I mean, they made a statement on a Sunday about it. Everything that I don't think the hardware is going to be cheap, as I just said, but I do think there is another Xbox. But it was amazing to see how many people took a NeoGAF rumor from someone that has gotten a couple things right, but has also gotten some things wrong and just ran with it and with excitement. To be like, Xbox is dead. It was almost like the kid in the Matrix Revolutions when the machines left and he goes, it's over, the war is over, and he's running back and all that if you want to watch the Matrix Revolutions. But anyways, and it wasn't true. And then we saw this other one with Target and Walmart, which another Sunday Microsoft has to make a statement, and even Target came out and said, no, it's not true. Now, the proof is in the pudding. Actions speak louder than words. We will see through this holiday what happens with that. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. These people trying to celebrate that Xbox, you don't want Xbox to stop making hardware. I'm telling you this right now, because if they stop making hardware, I don't care if they have $1,000 console. PlayStation won't, because they're going to undercut them to give people more incentive to want to buy their hardware, right? But if there is no Xbox, what's the incentive for PlayStation or even Nintendo to not just raise their prices? Because where else are you going to go? You need an option. Whether you like the option or not, you always want an alternative on where you want to go play your games. Because the only alternative, if PlayStation is the only one making a high-end console, is build a PC. And how much do you think that's going to cost? So, no. You don't want Xbox, even if the next Xbox is $1,000, you want them to keep making it because it will give PlayStation incentive to keep their prices low. Simple as that. So hope that makes sense. And let's go down this. Oh, snap. How much have you missed? You just heard me yapping. You haven't missed too much. I've been showing off the Xbox Ally X. Look, Geralt still standing still. Let me close out of this. And close that. All right. So I close out of that. And then what you can do with the Xbox button, you can long press and essentially just kind of restart the experience. That way you don't have anything cache in the background. Pretty easy, pretty simple. And then obviously it shows last thing I played was The Witcher 3. And what's brother still saying? Hey, Parris, I'm struggling to figure out what is the best handheld for someone who only has been a console Game Pass person. Which one would you recommend the most? Very great question. Obviously, Steam Deck is not for you because that's not where your games are. Your games are in the Xbox app, Game Pass. That's where you're playing your games. So you want a Windows-based PC handheld. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I apologize. Now, this one costs a lot. It's $1,000. These grips are fantastic. It is very easy, feels very natural to hold this and play games with. I do have to commend Xbox and Asus for this design because it looks weird, but trust me, when you have it, it works. But there's a lot of money. There's behind me the original ROG Ally, I mean, it's been fine over the years. I mean, the battery on that's not that great either. More than playable. You can play Game Pass. You can do all these things on it. There's the Ally X. And the reason I'm bringing those up, costs a little bit less. There's the Legion Esco, I believe. The Lenovo, the Lenovo Legion Esco. That one's more reasonably priced as well. There's MSI Claw. There's different price variants that you can get that are cheaper than $1,000. There's even the Xbox Ally, the white 720p version, which is $600 as well. So I would just say, if $1,000 is too much for you, you have alternatives that you can look at. No, the Xbox experience is not as curated on those devices yet as it is on this, but eventually they will be in the coming months. So, it honestly just comes down to how much money you want to spend and what you're comfortable spending. And you can find a PC handheld that'll work just fine. What do we got? Yeah, Huggle. I can't even talk. I'm sorry. Huggable. Why can't I say your name? Huggable Hipster. Yes, $1,000 is a lot. It doesn't pay my taxes. I wish it did. What else do we have here? And what are the risks of Microsoft's new "this is an Xbox" strategy in your opinion? I understand that players can access their favorite games from anywhere, but there's always some downsides. I mean, the downsides of it, and these are valid concerns, but this is where you just got to be educated on, what games are playable where. Not all of your Xbox digital library, and I'm saying from the original Xbox 360, Xbox One, and even Series X and S, will be playable on a cloud streaming device or these Windows PC handhelds. And we talked about this previously as to why. But moving forward, all the new games will be, right? Like Keeper, it's about to come out, will be. Ninja Gaiden 4, The Outer Worlds 2, next year, Fable, Gears E-Day, this Halo remake, allegedly, that's coming. Like, all these things are going to be playable on it, right? Because moving forward, that's their incentive. There's no... If they're going with the strategy, all their new games are going to be play anywhere moving forward. So you're going to be able to play it on anything that's called "This is an Xbox" is going to be able to play those games. The downside will be your legacy titles. Some will, some won't. I hope that makes sense. Encrypted with another $4.99, very generous of you. And you were saying, for someone who likes games like Marvel Rivals and logs in for dailies, which handheld would you prefer? Would your $600 Ally be enough? And this is what I'm saying. I can't comment on performance of it. I've seen a few other videos talking about performance. It seems like it's been hit or miss, but I don't have personal experience with the $600 one. Because I would say if Marvel Rivals is very playable on it, then there you go. You should be fine. This one will definitely play Marvel Rivals. You wouldn't have an issue with it, but this one is also $1,000. So you got to look at it that way. And Danny Passion, $2. Steam Deck is I guess you're saying underpowered. Why can't I talk today? I don't know why I can't talk. And now I got my blinds. Look at the spot right there on my nose. I'm gonna fix it. But you're saying that Steam is underpowered. Why can't I talk? And unplayable games. I don't know. The games I like to play seem perfectly fine on the Steam Deck OLED. And that's another thing. Steam Deck 2 might be next year. And that's going to be a very interesting conversation when that happens. Give me 1 second. Because the thing with Steam Deck 2, let's get back into focus here. The thing with Steam Deck 2 is going to be obviously performance, but cost. I don't see Steam Deck 2 being $1,000. And if the performance is comparable to this, and let's say Steam Deck 2 is $600, and this one is still, $800, $900, $1,000, which one do you think people are going to gravitate towards? They're going to go to Steam Deck 2. And what are my opinions about AI in games? Not a fan. I tell you that. Yeah, there's obviously the rumors about certain games, and including AI. Some have already done it, etc. Not a fan. This is just not my thing. People losing their jobs, some of the slop that we've already seen with AI. Unfortunately, this is where all these corporations are headed to. They're investing billions and billions of dollars into AI. So not a fan, but let's just hope for the best. And you're patiently waiting for Steam Deck 2. I think a lot of people are. And that was a conversation we're having on Kind of Funny. Like Tim loves his Steam Deck OLED. You know, he asked me straight up, if I had to choose, what am I choosing? I'm choosing the Steam Deck OLED because I like the usability of it. The games I like to play on it just fine, and I don't have issue with it. And it's comfortable enough. Is it as comfortable as the Xbox Ally? No, but it's good enough. I love this thing. Absolutely freaking love it. As I sign in, and I've tinkered with mine. I got Decky and a few other things on here, but I love this interface. I freaking love it. And then like GeForce Now, me sitting here at home playing on it, battery lasts forever, and I'm still playing the same games, no latency. It's freaking great. And Danny Passion, $2. There's a lot of games that are unplayable on Linux. And I'm not discounting what you're saying. I'm just saying the games that I've not run into a scenario of games I like to play that have not been playable on Steam Deck, except for anti-cheat stuff, right? But you're not wrong. So definitely not trying to discount what you're saying. But again, I appreciate the super chat. And what are we saying? AB with a $2 super chat. Appreciate that. And you're saying, excuse me, at my Sam's Club, Xbox was replaced with the Ally. Yeah, because obviously Sam's Club, I think, was it Costco? Costco took down Xbox, and I think Sam's Club was doing the same thing. So, and that's what I mean. When the rumors came out, that's why the rumor had some validity to it about Target and Walmart, because they saw what happened with Costco. So it was like, wait, are all retailers removing it? But it seems like that's not the case. And I get that AI would be a great help for devs, right? To assist with them. They'll be able to make games quicker and all that. But it's also going to take some jobs too. And that's what I'm not a fan of. Anti-cheat will never work on Linux. No, and I agree. It won't. It will not, because it is essentially an open platform OS. So no, it definitely will not. What else do we have here? I do want devs to have tools that make their jobs easier and faster and help with repetitive tasks like rigging. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There's good to AI. It's just, does the good outweigh the bad? That's the question that we have to ask, especially as AI will continue to evolve and get better. And for the people that do lose their jobs, what happens to them? Can they pivot and go to, there's still a lot of stuff up for debate. It's just, this is a very uncertain time with AI. Let's put it that way. White Series X for $260 at Costco. Yo, that's crazy. Hell, I might have to go get one. If it's $260, yeah, that's a really good deal. And what do we have here? I don't think it makes sense to launch Steam Deck with the Z2E. Yeah, see, I don't think they will either, by the way. They might launch the MSI and the Lenovo consoles with Steam OS, but the Steam Deck 2, I would assume, will only release with a Z3. And you very well might be correct on that. I think 2026 is possible, but it would not shock me if they wait until 2027 on Steam Deck 2. And what do we got? Oh, and you're talking about specifically well, yeah. And God, look at the slop we see with AI art right now. But no, I totally get what you mean by that. Yes, AI should be used as a tool, not a replacement. And that's the scary part of, I'm all for it being a supplement. I'm not for it being a replacement. That's the thing. And you got to go. It was great seeing you finally catch your stream. Have a great rest of your stream. Yeah. It's always great talking to you. We'll definitely have to do one of your podcasts again real soon, but always great to see you. And art and voice acting. Yeah, the voice acting stuff is scary as hell. I mean, some of that stuff that we've seen recently with Tupac and Michael Jackson, I'm like, oh my God, where's this thing headed, man? Have I used Sora 2 yet? I have not. I've heard about it, but I have not. And there's rumblings about the Steam's about the Steam Frames announcement. I guess that's the Steam console, right? I think that's what you're talking about, because I know there's Deckard, which would be the new VR headset from Valve, and then essentially they're gonna have a console Steam Deck, for lack of a better term, that will just be have Steam OS on it, but it sits on your TV. And I appreciate everybody being here in the chat, man. Like I said, I just randomly decided to do this. Matter of fact, I will probably just go ahead and end this now. I just kind of wanted to give my 2 cents about the Xbox Ally X, and this is an Xbox and all that stuff. And I appreciate people, being here in the chat, asking questions. It's been good. I know Dirt's doing his. I'll probably just jump over and go say what's up to Dirt while he's doing his when I end this. But any final questions, or I will go ahead and end this in a couple minutes. And someone just left Best Buy. Maybe I missed the beginning of what you said. Just left Best Buy. And I see Wario here, my favorite person. What else do we have? Oh, you just got yours from Best Buy. Well, congrats on that. Oh, so you're up in North County. Yeah, I mean, I'm in Temecula. Yeah, San Diego's going to be crazy this weekend with TwitchCon. Like I said, I got to go down there tomorrow night. There's a couple different events I've been invited to. I'm doing an interview while I'm down there as well. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. Oh, and thank you for the quick. No, thank you for hanging out. Really, really appreciate that. I think I will go. Matter of fact, I got this last super chat, and I will go ahead and end it here. $2 super chat. Thank you, very generous of you. And honestly, I use AI for video game walkthroughs. Well, that's what the whole Copilot thing is. Be able to help with that, and I've gotten a couple demos on that as well. I think there's potential. Don't get me wrong. It's just AI worries me. That's all. I'll leave it at that. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this now. Thank you guys for checking this out. I'm lazy. I know I need to do more of these. Got a couple reviews I'm working on, and I think I'm trying not to get myself in trouble, but I will definitely do more of these going into November. Let's just put it that way. As time frees up and I'll have a little more free time. But hope everyone has a good rest of the day / evening, and I will talk to you again soon.